What's up, Capoeira Nation? Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for every single of you that are listening to this Capoeira podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, if you are tuning in right now and if you are listening to this episode, please, 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 I know you're watching or I know you're listening. Okay, I know you're following me on Instagram. So please give me a subscribe on YouTube. I'm trying to get to the 100 subscribers. I know it's a tiny bit, but slowly we can grow together, and slowly I can grow even bigger. The more I grow, that means more information for you. So soon, very very soon, I don't know when, I'm going to start giving away some capoeira gear. Could be a capoeira hat, could be a capoeira shirt, could be a capoeira something. Okay, so please, capoeira sticker. If you like stickers, please give me a subscribe. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. Listen to this episode. It's going to be fun. It's always fun with the Capoeira Experience podcast. Thank you so much. Let's roll. What's up, Capoeira Nation? Welcome back to the Capoeira Experience podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening, every single of you that are listening to the podcast. Thank you so much for the entire Capoeira community for supporting this podcast, because this is pretty much made from the Capoeira community to the Capoeira community. So I appreciate a lot every single of you that are listening to this podcast right now. And also, please, I'm looking for two capoeiristas, either students or teachers, instructor, to come to the podcast to share your experience during this pandemic. So please DM me to the Capoeira Experience podcast on the Instagram, and then let's connect and let's talk about how you have been training. Let's train during this Zoom period of time, I guess, so we can connect and discuss how you have been training during this whole time, because these are crazy times of everybody's missing a Hoda, everybody's missing your friends, everybody's missing that connection, the amazing connection that we have in the Capoeira Hoda. So I want to know your perspective. How do you feel? I want to know. So come to the podcast. Two capoeiristas. Just DM me and let's schedule. Doesn't matter where you at. Okay, you can be in China. I already have done an interview in China. This podcast has made it all the way to China, or anywhere in the US, anywhere. Just connect with me. Let's get this podcast done, and let's chat to see what you're doing and how are you training with these crazy times. So today is going to be episode 51st or 51, however you want to say. But this is going to be pretty much about good reasons for drills in repetition. The drills in repetition is so important for any martial arts. Any martial arts, I guess anything that we do, right? It's pretty much drills, practice, and repetition. Drill, practice, repetition. Drills, repetition, drills, the repetition. So there's a saying, doesn't matter if you do 1,000 kicks one time, but it's much better to do one kick 1,000 times so you can master one kick, right? It's probably not just like that, but you get the point. So it will be, I'm going to break it down in two parts. Capoeira, we can either practice by ourselves, but we always, 100% of the times, we need a partner. From my perspective, always we need a partner. Okay, we need that friend in front of us to develop the capoeira game. So for example, let me start with the solo drills. So first, the practice. You can practice 10,000 ahmadas, 10,000 queixadas, 10,000 of everything. 10,000 jingas. The more you practice, the better you can get. This can create muscle memory. The muscle memory is so important because you can know where are you where you are going to land, or where you are moving the leg, how you can land. And before practice variations, always practice the basics 100% of the time. Either if you are beginner, especially beginners, especially beginners. If you are starting capoeira, you have 6 months, 1 year, 2, 3 years, 5 years. Drills or practice for the basic is so crucial. Once we get into more advanced, the basic is very important, and then we start practicing a bunch of repetition of the variations, and then we start adding more, and then we go from variations to double variation or the escapes from the variation, and then you can play a little bit, but you have to dominate the basic, right? So that will create muscle memory. The other one is, obviously, I already said it, is to perform better. So once you can do 10,000 armadas, right? But if you do a beautiful armada, it looks so much better, right? So you perform better. Plus, by performing better, you can prevent injuries. Preventing injuries is so important for us in the capoeira community. Unfortunately, right now, if we have bad form, it is going to create bad habits, and those bad habits are going to create injuries. That includes knee injuries, hips injuries, lower back injuries, shoulder injuries, wrist injuries. Those are pretty much the most common for us in the capoeira community. But record yourself and look at yourself and be like, I don't think that armada looks good. Look at your foot, how you put the position of your foot, your knee, how much your knee is twisting. Because we do a lot of twisting in the capoeira, in the capoeira performance or the capoeira movements. We do a lot of twisting, a lot of up and down. So that can create too much stress on the joints. And after that is when the injuries comes. So it's going to be muscle memory, and it's going to be to perform better and to prevent injuries, of course. And also which all these is connected, right? So drills, repetition is going to help you to improve weaknesses. So losing your balance is one weakness. When you do the armada and you do like that little hop, that happens to me so many times. When is that a little bit off time where I have to adjust my foot base, and I do a little hop in the armada, and then I lose my balance, or I don't land on the right spot where I want to land. I'm sorry. I always like to tell my students, control your leg, don't let the leg control you. So that's going to help you for many stuff. So repetition is going to help you so much. Practice. And if us as instructors, we don't repeat these two, or we don't have these drills, I know it's boring. I know, I get it. Do 10 armadas or 20 armadas in one class when we have an hour and a half of armada. I know, I get it, it's boring. But if we don't practice, or you don't have to do it in class, you can do once per week as a student. Once per week, you do your homework, go home, practice 10 armadas every Wednesday. Every Sunday when you are home, just practice 10 armadas, and then you are going to see improvement in your kicks, improvement in your balance, and improvement in many stuff. And you capoeira game, because those movements, we put all those movements together. And we create the capoeira game, right? Now, if we step into the partner drills, this is even more important. This is the part where I said that we need a capoeira partner 100% of the time. We can practice many 100% solos we want. It can look beautiful. We can do backflips, we can do ausimao, we can do macaco, we can do cartwheels, we can do handstands, we can do punchy, we can do head spins, we can do hand spins, we can do many stuff. Esdobrados, we can do bella flor, we can do parafuso, we can do envergados, we can do many stuff. But here's the trick: we gotta do that in the capoeira game, in the partners. We also gotta apply this to the capoeira game. I heard Mr. Paulão saying this many times. Mr. Paulinho Sabia, I heard him saying this many times. You have to use and apply those florellos that you practice in your solos, put it in your capoeira game with a partner, because you have to learn the distance, the timing, and all that. We're going to go through all these, those 3 points for the partner drills. And this is my perspective, and this is what I have learned these 19 years. Damn, almost 20 years. But of me talking to maestros, talking to instructors, and I met so many maestros in my life. I met so many instructors in my life, and I don't even know how many capoeiristas in my entire in this life. It's going to be more than half of my life practicing this. So for the partner drill, point number 1. And there's many points, but this is going to be 3. The first point, or the first point, I guess, the first of these partner drills, the distance. We have to learn, especially capoeira. We move so much. We move to so many angles. We go to right, and all the sudden we're moving again to left, and then we move again to left, and we move again to left, and then we come back to right. So it's many angles, and we have to learn the distance of these kicks, florellos, because if we do a florello too close, someone's gonna, or your partner can get hurt, or you can get hurt. So we have to learn the distance, and that comes with practice and drills, and practice and more practice. And probably, I know my master says you probably can get after the 1,000 repetition, and or 5,000 repetitions, and you are going to understand around that time. So the distance is so important, especially because we do strikes all the time, and then it won't make sense if someone just put in, and you just imagine, close your eyes. If you are listening to this and you close your eyes, please, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. So just imagine, if someone is doing an ahmada, or you are going down to negativa, why are we gonna do an ahmada? No, somebody is in the negativa. Just imagine, just freeze this in time. Somebody's in the negativa. Do you think an ahmada is going to make sense in that negativa? From my point, it won't make sense, right? So we have to know when to apply the ahmada and how far we gotta do the ahmada. Now, this is the variation, all right? You can probably do, let's say you are going to do AU right after the ahmada. So you do the ahmada, AU, backflip, right? So that's an example if you're going to do the ahmada and the person is down negativa. But if you attempt to strike with the ahmada, it's no point because the person is all the way down. So I don't know if you can see the point on this. But the distance is so important, and again, it doesn't make sense if the person is too far or too low or too high and you are too low to do a kick without the distance, or move without the distance. It's just like, it wouldn't make sense if a person is just in the gym and you do paso por las cosas. Makes no sense. So, at least for me, does that make sense to you? If it does, or if it doesn't, just let me know in the comments below. If you're watching this on YouTube, or just comment on the podcast if you are listening to this on any platform, audio platform. The other, again, the targeting. So the target is so important because, again, if someone is doing a negativa, why you are going to do the ahmada? Doesn't make sense. So you do something else, right? It can be up to you, but on this case, an ahmada wouldn't make sense. The other point, the targeting Mastelo, how, for example, no Mastelo, right? What is the distance of your Mastelo? Not all the legs are the same distance. So if someone is, I'm 5'6", if someone is 5'11", or if that's 6, I don't know that size. If someone is 6 feet, their legs are going to be longer than mine. So I gotta get closer. That person gotta be a little bit farther. So it always depends of the distance, the size of the person, or if I'm 5'6" and I'm playing with a person taller than me, I have to adjust my distance so I can hit the target and I can aim to a target. Because, again, what is the point? A person is doing negativa and I do a Mastelo, doesn't make sense, right? So, and there's many other options. Capoeira is infinite options of distance. Many options. I can talk for hours about distance. So I'm pretty sure you get the point, right? So practice the distance, practice the target, right? In the partner drill. The last point for the partner drill is the control. For controlling the kick, again, if I do the ahmada and I lose my balance, that wouldn't control the kick, right? So if I do Mastelo and I lose my balance, that's not controlling the kick. So you have to control the kick. And again, all this is together. For you to be able to learn or practice the distance, you have to control the kick. To aim the target and to hit the target, you have to control the kick, right? So all this is connected. So it's very, very important for us in the capoeira that practice drills. And drills, I still practice drills. I still practice and practice. It never gets old to me. I'm used to it. I'm not perfect on my kicks. I'm not perfect. I still lose balance on some of my kicks. Some days I'm off on my ahmada. Some days I'm really good. Some days I'm super bad on my ahmada. So it always depends. I don't know, I guess the day. But all the drills is super, super important. Now, of course, capoeira, it comes the instruments, right? The part of the music. Today's days, we live on a life of a social media life that we want everything right away. So we want everything to happen so fast that we get frustrated and we give up most of the time, right? Not all the time, not everybody, but most of the time. If we get frustrated, we don't get it, we quit, we start practicing, right? We stop practicing. For example, berimbau is one of the instruments that you have to practice drills hundreds of thousands of times, millions of times to practice the Angola, right? So for example, Angola, you said ch-ch-ton ding, ch-ch-ton ding, ch-ch-ton ding. Now when you have that pattern, ch-ch-ton ding, where there's no discrepancy in the sound, right? So the chiado sounds as a chiado, din sounds as a din, and the don sounds as a don. You can practice ch-ch-ton ding, ch-ch-ton ding, and then you don't lose the time. And then you practice, practice and practice and practice. Once you get that, once you understand the timing of that, once you understand the practice of that and the sounds, where the sounds doesn't sound off, where the chiado doesn't sound like a don or like a din, or the din doesn't sound as a chiado. So once you have that down, is when you start adding the florello or the variation or the different patterns to the Angola, right? So for example, let's say don ding don ding don ding don ding don ding. So once you get the time, once you learn those patterns, is when you can start playing. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I think you should wait, be a little bit patient. That's a part of this journey, right? We have to be patient, and we have to practice a lot. So practice those drills for the capoeira music. Right now we are on the part of the capoeira music. Practice those drills many times and be patient. Be patient to practice these drills, because with a lot of practice is when you are going to get it. Okay. And same with the atabaque, same with the pandero, same with the agogo. Is one of the most easy instruments. It's just pick pock pick, super easy, right? And heko super easy too. You can get off a little bit, but it's way easier to learn those two than learn the pandero and learn the birimbao. Atabaque is pretty easy too. So just practice a lot the drills. Is super important. Practice all the repetitions that you can, 10,000 times. And I'm coming back. So we have solos, you have the muscle memory, you have the to perform better. I'm sorry, to create a better performance and to prevent injuries and to improve your weaknesses. In the partner solos, we have partner drills. We have the distance, we have the targeting, and we have the control. Again, all this goes together. In the capoeira music, we have patterns. We have we gotta practice those patterns, and once you have the patterns down, you practice the variations of the pattern. From my perspective, I think, once again, this is about repetition, and repetition. So, like I mentioned before, we live right now on a social media life where we get so much information at once, right? It's really quick. Or an internet era where we get information super quick, where we just tap a link, and sometimes it takes 1 second and we're already, at least I'm like this, it takes, why my phone is so slow, I tap and it takes 2 seconds to load. I mean, oh my god, this phone is so slow. So it takes a lot of patience to practice all these drills, all the repetition, to get the movements, to get the partner drills, and to get the music, the capoeira music. We have to be patient. We have to practice a lot. We have to practice repetition. Repetition is the most important for capoeira, for us to understand how this works. And I think for any other martial arts or anything in life, right? So I think it's better for us to practice. And all my points here is for us to keep practicing, and to learn a lot of capoeira. And we don't even talk about the language, right? So that we can talk about that in another point, in another interview. It's not an interview, it's a solo podcast, at least today. I have done a few solo episodes because I am going to wait for you to reach out to me. Come to the podcast. Let's share your capoeira experience. Like I said at the beginning, this podcast is to share our capoeira experience. That's why it's called the Capoeira Experience Podcast, baby. The Capoeira Experience Podcast, brought to you by Instructor Kashishi, Capoeira Barcelona, Indianapolis, and Capoeira Community. We are a community. We are all this together. But we say it's a community. We say we're on this together. Let's show that we're on this together. That's why you are going to follow me on YouTube. Give me a follow on YouTube, so I can give you more information there. You're going to see all these interviews, these amazing capoeiristas, and all the YouTube interviews. It's there for free to you, to me, to us, and for us, and for everybody in the capoeira community. So watch those interviews, get some inspiration, and get some really good information. It's a lot of really good information there for classes, for anything you want to find there. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I find out that I even get inspiration from beginners. I get a lot of inspiration from beginners, and shoot out to every single, if you made it this far, and hopefully you are in my class, shoot out to every single of you of my class. You guys motivate me so much. You guys motivate me a lot to keep pushing, to keep doing, to keep training. And I just recover my hips flexor pain is because of you, because I want to train with you and I want to play capoeira with you. Okay, so please keep training, keep pushing, keep learning, never give up, never ever give up, because if we give up, we become quitters, and quitters, we don't get anywhere. Okay, so we are not quitters, we are not giving up, and we're going forward. We're going to learn even more. Okay, so these are my points. Remember, solo drills, partner drills, and music drills. Okay, practice, and practice. Thank you so much for making it this far. This is your friendly neighborhood Kashishi from the Capoeira community, Indianapolis. Peace, and follow me, and comment, and share with your friend. Alright, thank you so much. Peace. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for getting this far. Remember, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up on Facebook or YouTube. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is going to help us and help me to get bigger numbers and bigger subscribers, so we can give more information. Okay, please, if you're listening, I know you're listening, I know you're watching, please give me a subscribe, give me a like. Okay, I know you're watching right here or listening. All right, have an amazing day. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening every single episode, especially the episode we just did. All right, thank you so much. Peace.